Wow. I have so many questions. I'm wondering where to start. But it's good to meet you. It's good to have you on the stage. How do you feel after, screening your movie?
Thank you. Is it on? Can everybody? Okay.
Yes, I think it is.
Everybody can hear me now. Thank you. I am feeling a little bit nervous being in front of everybody, but also happy that all of you can see my work, our work.
I want to start by asking what inspired this film. I got so excited seeing some cultural elements, like I see the migongo being used, I see the mishanana, I see a couple of things that I am so proud of as a Rwandan. But when we were talking about visualizing the virus earlier, and me asking our guest before you what inspired her to go the direction that she did, she talked to us about some of the personal experiences. But what about for you? Why the interruption of the weddings in particular?
Well, it's something that I took interest in because, first of all, it was surprising. I've never seen something like that before, where the police comes and interrupts the wedding or arrests some people because there was a wedding in not the circumstances that were supposed to be followed. So then that interested me. The topic itself interested me, and I made some research. And I wanted to understand, like, why would people take this risk of going to a wedding or creating such a kind of situation, knowing something particular is going to happen? So I wondered and wanted to yes,
Point.
were illegal, or they went beyond. Is it beyond the measures? The measures. Yeah. So I was like, why? And I started reading some articles, doing some research, and something caught my attention. It said, like, in certain times, like COVID times, people try to escape their situations in really weird ways, like getting married as a clean slate to start their lives, or as another way of living. And it really interested me, and I wanted to make something about that. Hence the idea.
What were some of the themes you were interacting with and you hoped to bring forth in this movie?
Uncertainty, doubt, marriage, love, culture, something around that.
Yes, we see a lot of tension being caused by what is happening, not only for the gentleman and the lady he's about to marry, but also within the family. And we see her talk to the mom, and she's expressing the frustration around what's happening with the gentleman's side of the family. These kinds of elements and issues we interact with in everyday life, whether the pandemic or not. When a wedding is happening, there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of stress. Why was this important for you to capture, even as you were putting this film together?
Well, also, I find that interesting, that people are getting married, especially for this situation. When I was creating the characters, in my mind, there were people trying to, most of the part, people trying to escape their situation. So in doing that, they didn't get the time to, like, clear out the way for their families and everything, to, like, where it's smooth and family get along very well. There is, like, some things that they find unbelievable on one side or the other. So I thought, like, drama about that could be interesting, and I truly find that interesting that sometimes you go to a wedding and you be like, people are getting married, but behind like in the audience, I'll call it in the audience, something else is going on. So it felt really interesting to explore as well.
There were so many ways you could have interacted with this film. Like I said at the beginning of this conversation, why was it important for you to kind of like shine a light on some cultural elements, like the traditional wear, the use of the migongo that we see in the room, and also the fact that you decided to have this movie done in Kinyarwanda?
Okay.
Was that intentional?
A little bit, partly, because it's a wedding, traditional wedding.
Yes.
Mostly because our wedding, it starts with the traditional wedding. So I wanted to create a situation where it's not far with every ceremony.
Yes.
So hence the traditional wedding. And with the traditional weddings comes the migongo, comes the mishanana, comes the everything else. So yes, I guess it helped me to explore the culture side as well.
And speaking generally, when you were going into this film, and I asked this question also to our guests before you, did the journey, the creative process take you exactly where you wanted to go, or were there some elements that you interacted with that you didn't have in mind on the onset?
Yes. I had an idea of what I was going to do, but everything kept some side on one side things kept evolving. Other side there was some setbacks, not really great deal of setbacks, but yeah, some little changes, some little. But
is there anything that stood out for you?
That
stood out for you?
Stood out in what way?
Like something you didn't intend to have in the film, but then the journey kind of led you there.
Yes. Nothing is coming to mind.
Nothing
like
is
right
coming
now.
to mind. Well, when it does, we can get back there.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of characters, one of the scenes we see a young lady interacting with the bride-to-be, and there's the tension of the moment, the fact that there's a lot of uncertainty that is going on, and we see a cigarette passed on to the bride-to-be. And this is something that we've seen happening. A lot of young people during this pandemic kind of coping by escaping, whether it's alcohol or a cigarette or any escape, any kind of form that they find relief or are able to escape with. Where was your mind at creating this scene, and what was the message you were trying to get across?
Okay. First of all, with the cigarette scene, in normal life, I find people smoking, something about people smoking a little bit interesting or intriguing. So first, the cigarette scene, the character, the sister who had the cigarette, it's a habit. But in this film, it's also, aside from it being a habit, it's like another something that shows how people do not like take the situation that serious. It's like we know COVID, how it affects our mental. No. Can I use a little bit of Kinyarwanda as well?
Yes, please.
So turabizi ukuntu covid igira ikibazo ku buzima bwacu n'ukuntu itabi no kugwa ku muntu smokinga noneho ari ikindi kintu gishobora to increase the risks. So in with this character, it's a little bit of highlighting how, like, when people are faced with something like they're not used to, it's like it takes them a lot to change who they are or what they're supposed to do. But aside from that, again, I say it's something interesting. But for Claudette, the main character, it was like, the thing of escaping. She wanted something to distract her from her thoughts, from what's going on. And she was like,
let's just do that.
Yeah, my sister does it. I just need a distraction, so why not? Please, give me something. I need a distraction. Yeah.
We also see her dancing.
Oh, yes.
why are you trying to portray that scene as another escape for her? Let's just dance the pain away. Let's just dance the distraction away and what is happening.
Okay. The scene with the dancing, normally when I feel comfortable in a place where I am, I can dance. So she
has a lot of uncertainty around
yes,
that. There's the situation with the family, the in-laws, and there seems to be a lot going on, but she's excited, she's dancing, she's having the time of her life.
Actually, not the time of her life, but I was going to say, like, normally me, when I'm in a place where I feel comfortable, I listen to music. When I'm trying to distract myself, I listen to music. Sometimes I dance, even when the situation is as awkward as it seemed like that.
So it was a way for her to cope,
yes,
you would say.
So to distract herself from whatever is going on and be like, oh, I am tired of this, so why not do this? And she kept receiving the text from her husband-to-be.
Yes.
And it was like, no, I need something as well, so that's the dancing.
The interaction between the husband-to-be and this young lady, we see a scene where it's a very tense moment and sort of a defining moment for them. But right before that, you also kind of take us through that place of introspection, especially on the girl's side. I want to come back to the scene where they're actually making, very definitive statements and trying to figure out where they're at. But in terms of the young lady, just getting to that place of realizing, I'm not ready. With all of these things that are happening, I'm not ready. Where were you trying to take the viewer in that scene?
Where she said, I'm not ready?
Yes, in that moment. She's sitting, her friend, her sister has a cigarette. She's in that moment, she says, I am not ready.
Actually, she's known she's not ready from like the beginning or even before the movie, in the story. But here, she is acknowledging, like, openly that she is not ready.
She's got into that place,
She is being forced to acknowledge, like, wow, all of this is happening. I didn't intend it to happen this way. And it's like everything is hitting her at the wrong time. So she has to acknowledge what's going on. So when she admits she's not ready, now she starts, through this whole movie, it's a journey to admitting and like find the solution. So when she admits that she's not ready, it's the first step to the way of doing something about it.
We see them later on come to the table, and now it's that moment of truth. We have to have this conversation. For a lot of people, and I know some of you in the audience, you know one or two people whose weddings were interrupted. And I remember, last year, a lot of people were affected. They lost money, and just like Claudette and the husband-to-be, that tension led to some relationships coming to an end, and so much more. Looking at that scene when they are at that table, what were the key messages that for you as the person crafting this piece you were hoping to get across?
Well, that would be the viewers, that would be like something the viewer could answer, but for me, I didn't intend on giving any other message. I just was interested. I was interested more in exploring someone who is uncertain. So I was more interested in going through the mind of someone who's uncertain, who's going through something and actually is stuck. She doesn't know for real if the decision is to like stop this. She's uncertain about that side as well, and it doesn't feel right to continue. So she's at that moment where she's like, what am I going to do? And she doesn't want to come out like to the innocent and be like, let's just stop this. She's like, oh, okay, let's join others. We don't know what's going to happen. So maybe that's for the viewer to find out.
Yes.
I was literally trying to go through someone's mind who's having doubt.
Yeah. What has been the reaction so far to the film from the people that, you know, have interacted with it?
Okay. So far. Some liked it. Some said it's boring. And yes, I do understand.
At least this room does not agree with the latter.
well, it's okay. It's okay for anybody to react to it in any way, because yeah, everybody feels some type of way towards something. But so far, I liked it.
This style, well, we do like it. I can hear somebody trying to clap behind. Why this kind of style? You could have chosen any kind in terms of how you put across this message. Why this particular way of making the film?
Actually, I have been struggling with that. From the moment I decided to do the movie, I've been struggling with how am I going to make this?
Yeah, to tell this story,
yeah.
yes.
Should I make it like more interesting in a way people would find it way interesting? But I was like, there is a way I feel like that is me, a
Yes.
way that is me that I can understand, and maybe hopefully that someone else is going to understand. So hence I chose this, something very slow paced and something as this.
There is a fear around that, and I appreciate that you were confident with the direction that you chose. But there are moments that you felt like the way that we relate with some of these movies that are a little slower, and as a culture, really, I'll speak mostly for Rwandans and not generalizing. I'll say most people do not interact very well with slow films and documentaries and anything really that requires you to sit with it. Yeah. Where were you at, and what really were the enabling factors for you to say, I am going to do it anyway?
Because as a journey for a filmmaker, at some point I have to be honest with myself. Otherwise, I won't find myself. So that's a really hard thing a bit hard to decide and be like, I am freaking going with this. But at some point, yes, I deal with that. But I also have to be honest with myself and with my work as well.
Yes. The title is some sort of finality, right?
Actually, it changed it to Call It a Day.
To?
Call It a Day.
Call it a day. Yeah. Why?
The reason is a little bit funny. It's because I was struggling with finding a suitable title.
Yes.
When I finalized the project, I wanted a suitable title and I couldn't find it. But I was like, maybe I need to call this a day. Let's call it a day. For myself, and the people there were like calling it a day as well. Like,
yes.
So maybe this could go with it. So I changed it to Call It a Day.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, I want to get into the more general aspects of this conversation. But before I do that, the key take-homes that you hope every creative goes into the creative process having that one objective, right? Or two, or three. What was that for you? Like, if they were to forget anything that happened in the movie, that they take away this one thing, or two, or three.
Generally, or with the movie?
The movie.
With the movie?
Have we thought about that?
No, not really. No takeaway. No takeaway.
You just hope that it takes them wherever it takes them.
Yes.
And that is a good place.
Yes, just enjoy it.
Yes. So what do we hope to see from you moving forward?
Yeah.
Is this a subject you're going to be interacting with more?
COVID
Yes,
or
the pandemic and
the
sort of
pandemic, the
visualizing it, yes.
Yes, since the pandemic is becoming more part of our lives.
Yes.
So it's something that I am going to like, that's going to keep appearing in my works as well. Not as in not as in the focus of my work, but that I'm going to keep interacting with.
Let's talk about generally how movies have surfaced in this time of the pandemic. I did pose a question yesterday and today, and I asked if a good job has been done in terms of documenting. Our panelists yesterday were highlighting the importance of valuing the arts during a time like this, especially because the pandemic has kind of made us understand the role that they play. How do you think that we are doing in terms of documenting and just really placing the arts where they should be and just leveraging that space especially for health, but also in terms of preserving history and just documenting this moment in time?
I don't think I get the question well, so
I'm going to paraphrase.
Yeah.
As an artist,
Yeah.
do you think a good job has been done in terms of capturing this moment in time? Yeah, documenting it, but also doing it in a way that places even more value on the industry and what artists like you can do and the role that you play in a time like this.
So this moment, you mean like the pandemic moment?
Itself, yes.
I'm not sure how to answer that, but on a personal level, with my little observation, I think we're getting there. We're getting there. I am not sure. I am not sure about a lot of things, but I think we're getting there because, as you see, UGHE gave us the opportunity to express ourselves
Yes.
about the pandemic. So that's a great step.
Yes.
So far, we hadn't received such a kind of opportunities. So I think it's a great step, and I hope it goes on.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you most proud of in terms of the films that you've seen so far? That part of the four, I'm sure you saw what Sharon had for us, and what you yourself have actually. I'm sure you're proud of your work. What would that be for you? What does that look like in terms of what you're proud of?
You mean what I'm proud of?
Yes.
About this?
The visualizing of the virus project and what it has birthed.
Okay. I'm very proud of, mostly because it's Nibjonzi cyane, twebwe aba filmmaker, what we did as filmmakers. I'm really proud of us because I think we did our best. We did our best, and we did something nice. So I'm really proud of us.
Yes. Yeah. And also, yes, I know, I mean, the best foot in the door as you get into these projects, and we really appreciate, because it does show from the work that we saw today. But putting this project together couldn't have been easy for you, especially in the time that it was being created. And I did say earlier, even to our previous guest, filming during the pandemic, it's a new reality, really. How did you navigate that? Were there challenges that you encountered? Yeah.
Actually, with the filming process, it wasn't that hard. It was recently when things have started to loosen up a little bit.
Yes.
But I would say the most difficult part was coming up with the story. Because there is a lot of things going on outside, a lot of realities. So what to choose? I was like, what am I going to talk about? What should I talk about? And how am I going to explore it? That was the hardest, the challenging part. But it was also good because it's a good journey to improving yourself as a filmmaker as well. So, yeah.
All right. So as a filmmaker, what do you feel like this process has taught you, even as you create?
the process of making a movie, or
Yes. Yes.
This is my second movie.
Yes.
So
And the first one did very well.
yes, it did very well. That is scary.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
So when your first work is like very recognized, it's like it's really good, but there's also like some sort of pressure on you
Absolutely.
to be perfect,
To do
So,
better
to
than
do
the last
better.
project.
Yeah. And it's it can be really challenging.
Yeah.
So with this movie, I went through those emotions.
Yes.
I went through those insecurities as well, and I am learning to
How
take-
do you feel? How do you feel you did compared to your previous project? Because the only judgment that matters is yours. How do you feel you did?
I feel the more I work on project, I am more in charge of the project. At the first, with my first movie, I needed like more help, more guidance. With this project, I felt more in charge, though I needed help as well, because it's really a huge thing. So the more I work on more projects, the more I improve in that how do you call it? Muri icyo gice.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I want to now open the floor to our audience. How are you guys feeling tonight? Are you having fun? Are we enjoying the amazing artists? Yeah? Good. Well, let's show her that we are. Anybody with a question for her? Yes, I see a hand over there. Please come join us. Could we have another microphone, please? Okay.
Hi, Ines. Mine is not really a question. I just wanted to commend you for the good job you did. And I feel so bad that people said it was boring. It wasn't. Like you said, they're all entitled to their opinion or feeling, but I didn't find it boring because when this girl was wearing her earphones and she was dancing, she started in a slow mode. So I'm already imagining, what is she listening to? We don't have to listen to what she's listening to, but we can imagine it. So it takes us to another place. It takes us to another level. And you touched every aspect of the Rwandan culture around the wedding traditions and all that. I have a daughter who got married in the pandemic, so I kind of got goosebumps when, there was a lot of tension, uncertainty, and all that stuff. But I just wanted to commend you and to tell you, go ahead. Those insecurities, it's normal to feel that way in the beginning, but when you feel insecure, then you know you're up to something.
Yes.
So I just wanted to congratulate you for doing a good job and carry on.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can we appreciate her? Thank you so much. Do we have somebody else? Anybody with a question? I see somebody over there. The lady in white. Thank you. Your names and
My
the
name is
question.
Uwera Rutamu Fabiola. The question is not about the movie per se. It's about all the films I've been watching.
Yes.
From Bosco and Claire, from Sharon's movie and yours. The main character is Yves Kijana. So I'm curious to know why all of you chose that guy.
Okay.
Okay. Kijana is a really great actor, and at the time of shooting, we were on somewhat of pressure. Twari turi gukora ibintu byinshi tugomba gukora nabwo tukarangiza. And Kijana was a really great choice because from the first moment natangiye gukora project naramutekerezaga, though byagezemo hagati nkasanga abenshi bari bumukoreshe nabo nkumva nahindura, but I was like no, why not use him? Because first of all, he's a great actor. Second, niwe nari natekereje kuva kare kose, and yeah, the process bituma yoroha kandi yihuta.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate the work that went into doing this. Let's appreciate her. And thank you for being a great audience, for the questions, for the compliments. They really, truly matter.